This is an update for the Hep Mini Trail Camera going by the model number Sv-TCQ. First of all, they're changing the name to a new company of Cool Life Pro, and they're having a promotion with Amazon with the dates of November 17th through 12/3/2023 and the price of $39.99. I'll put a link in the description below. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Hello, trail cam enthusiasts. I'm testing out the new mini trail cam from Hep, and it's quite a joy. It's a lot smaller than many of the other trail cameras that you'll see. It's just totally dwarfed, and part of that is achieved by only using 4 batteries here. So you're going to have to watch how long you have this out without checking on it. I use this around my home, so I check it every day because I have nothing else to do. The other thing that you'll notice, because of its size too, that it has smaller buttons, and they are really not marked other than a carve out, not painted or anything like that. So sometimes it takes a little while to get used to those, but they work really well. There's a strong clicking sound with them, so you really get an idea of it. There's no tone that goes along with it, a beep or something like that, because this unit does not have a speaker. It does record sound, which you can play back on your computer, but it does not play back on the screen here, or hear any type of tones that could be generated. Uses a 32 gigabyte card, which in this particular case, it was provided on here. I don't know if they do that all the time, but that's what I end up getting this particular time. I think it was a special on Amazon. And before we get into the camera, we'll go ahead and go into the things that come along with it. A 26-page or so book in English, and of course it goes into the other pages also on here. So it's English, Dutch, French, Spanish, and Italiano. The belt to hold it onto a tree or structure, looping through the structure here. It looks pretty robust on here. And this is a little bit of rough here, so it grips without slipping. In addition to that, it actually has the camera type mount that you can have here. And you get the hardware that goes along with it, and actually use a little Allen wrench to tighten up versus the thumb tighteners on there. Here's the base plate that goes along with it, that you can either mount into a wall, or oftentimes what I've done is I've actually mounted it onto a 2x4, so I actually have something that holds it down and I can move around any direction I want. As it comes with a USB cable, take a close look at what type of end that you have right there. I tend to use my cable so that I don't wear out the contacts on my card, since I take them out every day. Now, most trail cam people tend to take their cards out and swap them out and then view them at home or something like that, whereas I usually bring in the entire camera because I have it on a temporary mount, and I use this. And I find that the little prongs tend to last longer than what's on the SD cards, and at least in my experience. You only can clean these so many times, and the coating on them wears away, and now you have a defunct card. So anyway, that's where you get all the good hardware and all that kind of stuff with it, so everybody knows what's going on there. And so let's get back into our camera here. Just use 4 batteries on it. Of course, as usual, they do not recommend using any rechargeable batteries, because those are 1.2 volts, and in a very short time you're not going to have a functioning camera. You might see it turn on, but it's not going to last very long. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the controls here. Here's where your outside power supply would go on in there, and that uses a 3.5 millimeter times a 135 millimeter coaxial type adapter plug on there. But notice that you'll have to keep batteries in the unit anyway, because the access to it is after you close the unit. So also, this is a positive center on that, 6 volt, 1.5 amps. You also have the switch here. You put this into test mode for changing any things on there or checking for your detection zones, and then you push it all the way over to on, and you get a countdown that's in here. Let me show you a little bit what that looks like. We'll go into test mode here. Notice there's no chime or anything like that. And now we have this. So I go into menu and then go over here for down, all this kind of stuff. It goes all the different types of things that you can do on this. A lot of interesting things on here. Let's kind of go down them one by one, and I won't spend a lot of time on them. Let's see. So basically, the mode basically lets you, if you want to have this in, whoops, this in mode. You want it in photo, video, or photo and video. And now in the photo video, you take 1 to 3 burst photos, and then your video starts on that. Photo. Photo, again, you just have your photos, and it's 1 to 3 burst mode. Now, the photos that you have in here is in 24 megapixel, 20, 16, 12, and 8 megapixel on here. As you go higher, you're reducing the amount of space that you have in your card. I'm not one that uses a lot of the photos. I like the video things because I'm looking at wildlife, and I tend to actually record longer than what most people do. I do it for about a full minute for my video. Again, that eats up a lot of battery, especially when you're doing it at night. Speaking of night, the infrareds on here are 850 nanometers, which means they're a low glow. If you look directly at them, you will see a little bit of a pink. If you look from the side, you won't see anything. Typically, the animals don't really react to that whatsoever. If anything, the animals might react to the shutter that when the camera switches over from day to night and night to day, it removes a lens in front of it to make the camera work better with infrared or without infrared, depending on what you're using it for. Sometimes they will hear that. I've never seen an animal alert to it other than just simply looking at it and go about their business. It's never been something that scared anything away. Here's your sensor down here. It's a 90-degree sensing, as is the camera in here. It sees at 90 degrees. These LEDs go to about 65 feet. The interesting thing also is they have an auto mode, a near mode, and a middle mode, and a far mode. Far mode is the brightest, and that's going to burn your batteries up the most. Auto selects between the two. So as an example, if you have an animal you detected and you're walking towards the camera, not only do you need not as much light, but actually you'll wash out the features. You'll have nothing but a white blob if you have too much light on it. Ask me how I know that works. We're really fortunate today. There's just so much computer power put into these affordable cameras that we have all these extra functions that just were not available except maybe in much higher price function cameras. Some of the other things that that's kind of nice working with this is there's a time-lapse function which allows you to take a picture once a second to once every 24 hours. This is only in daytime. It could do loop recording like your dash cam does, where basically it goes through records all the way through your card, and when it reaches the end, it just starts off recording in the beginning again. That could be helpful on some surveillance things when you're only concerned about the images that were most recent at your arrival. But in most people aren't going to be using that for most wildlife looking at this. It's got a 0.2 second trigger speed, and you will notice in videos that I'll be showing, I'll put the bulk of them at the end of the video so you don't have to look through all the ones, because I gave a short 10-second video for each of the resolutions and also each of the photographs on that, and you'll see that the images start pretty close to the beginning. So you'll see me entering to the side, and just as I enter the frame, boom, photograph. Some of the videos, especially as you start going a little bit higher, I'm a little bit more towards the middle of the frame before that happens on there. So as far as video, you have 480, 720, and 1080. The 480 is basically at a square size, not the normal 16 by 9, and 720 is useful when you're mixing it with other videos and you're really tight for space in your card, but I use mostly the 1080 and I'm happy with that, and all those are 30 frames per second. That's something you have to watch real careful, is a lot of the cameras that are touting higher video resolutions, a lot of times they're going all the way down to 5 frames per second, so it ends up looking like those old-fashioned burglars in a bank video where they're just jerking around. So the video also can go from 3 seconds to 60 seconds, and 1 minute up to 10 minutes. I usually set mine at 1 minute. Yes, it eats up the batteries, but I check on them every night, and I'm looking for particular behaviors that I hate to lose that last segment of it. You can take the lag time, and that's basically the time that the video ends. The camera gets itself ready to take the next video, and then the video starts on that, the buffer starts again, all the way down to 5 seconds. So basically, if you leave it with a lag time of 5 seconds, you go 1 minute, skip 5 seconds, goes another minute, on and on and on. If you've got a lot of activity happening, yeah, that's going to eat up your batteries on there, so use that accordingly. The lag time also is adjustable all the way up to several minutes, so it's that's kind of something that's almost akin to almost like a time lapse, if you will, but for video. The overall weight for this unit with the batteries is 9.5 ounces. So this could be something really handy when traveling, if you're trying to being careful on weight, or backpacking or something like that, leaving it outside the tent while you're out there. You really don't want to carry a lot of extra weight, and also you don't really need something that's going to last 3, 4, 5 months, because you're just going to be spending the weekend with it, so why carry the weight around? Usually these have redundant batteries and such like that. So from this point forward, I'll go ahead and put the sample videos that I have here. And at the end, if you're interested in that, go ahead and watch through the end. They're very, very short. I think the pictures are like 7 seconds each, and the videos about 10 seconds each. You just kind of see me and how far the IR light goes at night. These are day and night videos that I took on here. Now, my understanding is Hapemp is having some amazing specials on the holidays. I'm not really sure what the price will be, but I understand there's a coupon for quite a large percentage off. So that's probably not going to be available all the time. So I want to check to see when it's available. I'll put a link for it below. If you have any questions, always happy to answer them in the comments below. I'm about 12 feet away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please remember to subscribe and share this video to help disabled animals with donated wheelchairs.